G'day, g'day. You clicked on this video because you're looking for a masculine fragrance. And obviously, I'm the peak of masculine human evolution. So my recommendations mean the most. I'm gonna share with you 10 masculine fragrances that I think you should check out. Starting things off with Stronger With You Leather. Now, this is a very mature version of Stronger With You Intensely, in my opinion. You could even go with Stronger With You Absolutely. You could go with Stronger With You Tobacco. All three of those options, including this one that I talked about, are very masculine. Stronger With You Intensely is that nutty, sweet, toffee type of a fragrance. One problem with it though, if you're a mature bloke, it's not really a fragrance you want to be looking for. It smells very youthful. It's something I would 100% recommend to someone that's youthful, in their teens. They're having fun with their life, they're going to parties. It's a good clubbing fragrance. It gets a lot of attention, a lot of compliments. Sure, it's really good. This is a more grown-up version. This has added leather and it's got more of a warm spiciness to it. It still holds that same sweet, nutty vibe that you get from Stronger With You Intensely, but with that added leather, with that added warm spice, it's a more mature version. It still holds on to a little bit of youth. Maybe you're in between youthful and very mature. You're right in the middle. This is perfect for you. This is also my favorite Stronger With You fragrance. So fucking good. Next up on this list, we've got Valentino Uomo Intense. This to me is a masterpiece fragrance. This sits in the same realm as Dior Homme Intense, Givenchy General Reserve Privé. It has that same lipsticky, powdery iris DNA that we all love. It's a very formal DNA, but this with an added vanilla. It makes things a lot more sweet and it tones down the formal side of Dior Homme Intense and Givenchy General Reserve Privé. Maybe you think that you can barely wear it in most situations because of how formal it is. Like, they smell like a strictly suit and tie event type of a fragrance. This solves that issue. So you can definitely still wear this with a suit and tie. You can definitely wear this to weddings and formal parties, expensive gatherings. But with that added sweetness, tones it down a little bit. You can wear this more often. I'm also a sucker for a good vanilla, so I really do appreciate that this has an added vanilla. Performance is a beast as well. That's something you don't have to worry about at all. Very strong. It's the best Valentino fragrance in my opinion. Just my opinion. I think it is superior to all of the Born Aroma, just all of the Valentinos combined. This is the best. Next up, we've got Hugo Boss Triumph Elixir. This is a very old school smelling fragrance. If I went back in time and visited a bar in the 80s and the 90s, this is what I would expect to smell on everyone. It's very bold, masculine, sweet, earthy, warm, spicy. It has such a good patchouli. And if you've been following me for a while on my TikTok, you know that I'm a good sucker for an awesome patchouli. Parfums Malle, Carlisle, Xerxes, Tony Iommi. Patchouli is such a good note in my opinion, and this has a great patchouli. And then made a bit more old school. The best performing Hugo Boss fragrance right here, and it's my favorite Hugo Boss. I just realized something. Most of my favorite fragrances from each brand, they just happen to be the most masculine out of them. Just goes to show, doesn't it? Amouge Reflection Man is next up on this list. This goes more into that white floral category. This is still a really masculine fragrance, but in a very floral, clean way. It packs a lot of elegancy. This is such an elegant fragrance. When you wear this with a suit and tie, you go to a wedding and you just rock up, everyone smells you. You're the most elegant smelling bloke there. It smells classy. It smells like you actually care about your hygiene. It smells like you've just got out of the shower and then applied a really nice floral fragrance. Everyone's gonna like this DNA. Not many people will dislike smelling this on you. The only setback I have with it, it doesn't perform the best. Now, it performs okay, but for a $300, $400 fragrance, I'd expect better, but still the scent profile is amazing. This is a fragrance that will get you a lot of compliments. It's just such a likable DNA. It's gonna be hard not to get compliments with this. This is a fragrance you'd wear to a wedding in spring and the summer. Next up, we've got Louis Vuitton Ombre Nomade. This smells much like an Arabian Prince. It's got that rose, oud, incense, raspberry. Makes you smell like just the fucking king of the place. Very manly, masculine, makes a statement when you walk into a room. Hey, what's that guy wearing? Oh, I'm wearing Louis Vuitton Ombre Nomade. It does so well at bringing in attention. You get a lot of compliments, you get a lot of people talking about your scent. It's just that type of scent that's not your typical blue fragrance like a Bleu de Chanel, Dior, Sauvage. Oh, fuck. This goes in a very different direction. It's also not a gourmand fragrance. It's a very Arabian fragrance. It's just not something you smell every day. Very expensive though, but still worth every single penny. Next up, we have 1 Million Golden Oud. This is the newest 1 Million of the line. To be honest, it doesn't even smell like a 1 Million fragrance. It should be its own thing. I think Paco Rabanne should have just created a whole new line of Paco Rabanne and just made this the first ever fragrance of that line. This reminds me a lot of Parfums Marley Haltane, which also could have been on this list as a very masculine fragrance, but I decided, you know what, I'll chuck in a little bit of a cheaper option in there for you guys. But if you don't mind spending the money, yeah, go for Parfums Marley Haltane. It's got that same oud saffron combination, which is just so good. Also got some similarities to Penhilligon's Halfeti. It's like a combination between Haltane and Halfeti. It's a very rough fragrance. You probably wouldn't want to wear like a sleek polo or nice dress shirt or something like that with this fragrance. Go for more of like a rough jacket kind of style. You know, like a denim jacket, leather jacket, stuff like that. This is definitely my favorite 1 Million fragrance by far. Yet again, that same pattern. My favorite fragrance in each fragrance house just happens to be the most masculine. Next up, we've got Nishane Hacivat. Very similar to Creative Ventus. It's in the same realm in the first hour or two. Then further in the dry down, becomes its own thing, still has that same pineapple, oak moss, woods. I was actually going to mention Creative Ventus in this video rather than this, but there's another creed on this list that you might want to look out for. So I don't want to include two fragrances from the same brand in this video. I just wanted a little bit more variety. This is a very dense fragrance. It almost smells like just a bunch of essential oils, but in a really good way. I love that it smells like essential oils. You might see a lot of people saying that it smells like it's got a lot of essential oils in it. That's completely true. Very natural smelling. The pineapple is very punchy and juicy. It's there the whole way. It is there in the opening. It is there until the end of the fragrance. That's one of the things that I like more about Nishane Hacivat than I do Creative Ventus. The pineapple is more in your face, like it's more noticeable. I'm just a sucker for pineapple. The performance on this is incredible. If you go too much on the sprays, you might choke a lot of people out. But be sensible with the sprays. A lot of people will notice you, but it won't be too much. I'm not one who always loves oak moss. I find that a lot of the times it just smells like a rainforest with a lot of moss, and it just, not really my vibe, but the oak moss in this, it just works with how the fragrance is, the pineapple, the woods. It works so well. Next up, we've got Creed Royal Oud. This goes into the category of old money. This is such good old money fragrance. It's got that woody vibe. It's also got some citruses in there too. So it's also refreshing in a way. It's a woody fragrance, a little bit warm and spicy, but also refreshing. It makes for a very likable woody fragrance. When you have a woody fragrance that's mainly just woody, a lot of people wouldn't like that. A lot of people would think that it smells very cloying. Maybe if you go too heavy on the sprays, you sit at a dinner table, you're just choking everybody out with woods. But this, it's balanced out with a little bit of citrus. It's a more likable woody fragrance. Now I know the bottle says it has oud in it. I don't really get that much oud. It's mainly just like sandalwood, maybe some cedarwood as well. Yeah, not much of a dirty, rough wood vibe. It smells luxurious. It smells expensive. It smells like you have money. This is a masterpiece of a fragrance for the winter time. This is something you'd wear with a cable knit sweater. This is something you'd wear even with a polo. You could wear this autumn, pushing spring because of the citruses. It's surprisingly a very refreshing fragrance. The only setback I have with it, the performance isn't there. It kind of only lasts like 6 hours, which isn't great, especially for the amount that you're paying for a Creed fragrance. It doesn't last the longest, but I just reapply it. Yet again, the same pattern. This is my favorite Creed fragrance, and it just happens to be the most masculine. Frederic Malle Musk Ravageur is next up on this list. This is a very, very musky, hairy, spicy, warm, ambery vanilla fragrance. It's very challenging, very polarizing. Not everyone's gonna like this. A lot of people will think it's a bit too much for them. But if you're not a bitch, you'll fucking love it. Now, but jokes aside, this is a very manly fragrance. It smells like a fucking man. It also makes a statement. This is a fragrance that has aura to it. Very strong as well. 2 sprays indoors is more than enough. It's a very cozy fragrance. I wear this to bed sometimes because of that nice spicy cinnamon, the musk and the ambers. It's a very cozy, warming fragrance. Just be mindful of where you wear this. This isn't something that you wear to your grandma's house. You sit down at the dinner table. She doesn't really want to smell all that musk and spicy cinnamon. Like, just go for something nice and fresh and blue. Just smell clean. That's what grandmas like to smell on their grandchildren. And the last fragrance on this list is Parfums Marley Carlisle. This is such a masterfully blended fragrance. It's so smooth. It smells like a niche fragrance. From the house of Parfums de Marley, a lot of their fragrances are made to have that designer appeal. With designer fragrances, they're very mass appealing. They're not very complicated, in-depth. They don't have many layers to them. With niche fragrances, they're stepping into that more complex, more layered territory. This does that. It's a very dark, bold, creamy vanilla, nice dark patchouli as well. You get some nice green apple in there as well. It sort of smells like a apple crumble. Wondering what fragrance to wear with a black suit? This is it. This is such a black suit type of a fragrance. I know it doesn't have it listed in the notes, but it definitely has a tobacco accord. I definitely get tobacco from Parfums Marley Carlisle. If I were to guess what fragrance Bruce Wayne wore, it'd definitely be Parfums Marley Carlisle. A bit of a fun fact with this fragrance, this is actually currently the oldest fragrance in my collection. It's my first niche fragrance, and all the fragrances that I got prior to this one, I've gotten rid of by now. And yeah, this is right now the oldest fragrance in my collection. So crazy. I have a lot of memories with this one, but yeah, if you're looking for a very complex niche fragrance but with a smooth blend, Parfums Marley Carlisle. I'd say Carlisle and Haltane are definitely the 2 most well-blended Parfums de Marleys. They actually smell like niche fragrances. Thank you so much for watching this video. I'd really appreciate if you guys chuck this video a like. It really helps the channel grow. I'd really appreciate if you gave this channel a subscribe as well. Let me know down in the comments, what are some of your favorite masculine fragrances? I'm going to be reading every single comment, liking them, replying to them. I really want to see what masculine fragrances you really like.